A common type of question or conversation I have with people revolves around something like this. I'll start talking with them and feeling into what's going on. And pretty quickly, what I feel is that they feel frustrated and they don't understand why XYZ hasn't happened yet. Now, XYZ is typically awakening or liberation or a certain kind of shift or the end of their suffering. So this is completely innocent, and it's a side effect of what I do. It's a side effect of watching videos by people who teach you how to reach liberation, or that's how the mind hears it, or teach you how to wake up. It's unfortunate terminology. And again, as I've said many times, but it bears repeating, and sometimes it just has to land. Sometimes you have to hear it several times before it lands, but the events in the way I'm speaking of them, awakening, transformation, realization, don't happen later. It's not later. In fact, they happen when the obsession with time and seeking in time subsides. So it's not a happening, even. It's a small seeking world collapses into a world where seeking cannot exist because there is no time. So when I'm interacting with someone and I feel into this sense that something they haven't gotten yet and they're frustrated because they've been working at it, they've been trying, they don't know how to get to it, they don't know how to do the right technique, etc., I will immediately point this out, that what I'm pointing to, what I'm discussing when I talk about awakening, is not something that's outside of your experience right now. This is the key point. It's not outside of your experience right now. What I'm pointing to in every single video I make is not outside of your experience right now. So it's in your experience already. So it doesn't mean there can't be a yearning to deepen realization, to understand, to get under one's suffering. That's completely genuine. But what happens is the mind overlays that with something that says, and how that's going to happen is it's going to happen later, and it's going to happen through a process and something you have to figure out. And it's not here right now. So let's figure out how to get there. That's an overlay. That part I didn't actually say, or if I did, hopefully I apologize for it. I often will say something about awakening happening and then immediately back up and say, and that's not going to happen later, but the language makes it hard to speak that way all the time. So if you notice this yearning for truth, this instinct to go deeper into your experience right now, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not seeking. That's just attunement with truth, with living truth. It's not leading you somewhere else. It's just pointing to what's here right now. Now, then the mind will get a hold of that often and turn that into, okay, let's make a big cookie, something I really want, and put it sometime in the future and then seek it. And then once that's set up, once that seeking paradigm in the mind is set up, then what happens is the mind tries to apply that to everything. So then 3 hours from now, when you get frustrated about something at work or on the computer or with a family member or something, then the mind will automatically say, oh, well, if you were liberated, it wouldn't feel painful, right? And so then the seeking starts. Well, how do I, what's the practice for this? How do I get liberated, right? So see how the mind does that. Just see it's just a thought pattern. It can't actually bind you. It can't really turn you into a seeker. It's not like that, but it's distracting. So just see that the mind plays that game with itself, and that's fine. And then back up and go, okay, why am I seeking now? Why am I fantasizing about whatever I think liberation is when I don't even know what it is, or awakening, or whatever? Okay, it's because I feel frustrated. Why do I feel frustrated? Oh, it's because my girlfriend said this or did that, or because my boss told me that my job is going to change, or, okay, yeah, that is frustrating. Where am I feeling that? Oh, it's heavy. It's in the chest. I can feel it in my chest. I can feel this frustration. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to feel this frustration. Okay, that's truth. That's authenticity. That's presence. That's what's happening. There's a thought that says, let's go seek something else because I'm uncomfortable. And then there's a sensation in the chest. There's a feeling, and it's linked to some beliefs about the conditions that caused it, right? That's what's happening. That's the simple truth. That is your entry point. So what I would suggest as a very simple takeaway from this video is when you notice seeking about a spiritual attainment, a shift that may happen later, etc. When you notice the seeking starting up, instead of telling yourself it's in the future, or asking yourself how I can get there, what can I do to make that happen, or being bummed because it's not there, instead of going down those roads, just recognize, oh, okay, there's seeking energy here. And what that really means is it means look closer at what's happening in my experience right now and give yourself permission to like or not like it. It's fine. There are going to be some things you like and some things you're not going to like. You're never going to like getting hit in the hand with a hammer. You're not going to suddenly like that. That's not anything to do with realization. And you're probably always going to like whatever. If you like cookies, you're always going to like cookies probably. It's just how it goes, right? So give yourself permission to like or not like whatever's happening. And then give yourself permission to just admit to yourself what is happening. What is the emotion? What is the situation that you often can't control? And then underneath it all, is there a feeling that, oh, I can't control this and I know I can't control it? It's out of my hands. That's the feeling of helplessness, right? And that feeling of helplessness often bounces us into our head to where we can imagine that we're in control in a way we're not. That's how this whole thing is set up. So next time you feel some seeking energy or hoping for something later that's going to make you feel better, etc., instead of doing that, just look at how you feel. You may not even feel as bad as you think you do, but you got to be real about it. You've got to actually feel it, acknowledge it at all levels. And that will open far more doors than imagining anything in the future.